21 Pilots. Love them or hate them, you can't deny that you at least know all the words to Stressed Out. 21 Pilots is a Grammy award-winning band from Columbus, Ohio. They currently have 30,857,000 listeners on Spotify, making them the 142nd most listened to artist on the platform. The band was formed by Tyler Joseph, Chris Solly, and Nick Thomas in 2009 in Columbus, Ohio. Tyler had already had a little bit of experience working on and producing music himself. He released a album called No Fun Intended that he had completely written and produced by himself and distributed to his close friends and put online in 2007. The band's first album was independently released on December 29th, 2009, simply called 21 Pilots, or as the fans call it, self-titled. During the production of their second album, Regional at Best, Chris left the band to focus on work while Nick left the band to focus on his school. However, Josh Dunn was brought in to replace Chris, and Josh officially became the drummer of 21 Pilots on May 8th, 2011, and to this day the band remains just Tyler and Josh. Regional at Best was officially released on July 8th, 2011 as their second and final independent release, the band announcing that they had been officially signed to Fueled by Ramen in April of 2012.
And then the people in this room becoming the band because we break down stylistic walls. We want to break down what it is you think a concert is. This is not a wall here. We are part of you. And what happened was you got signed to Fueled by Ramen.
On January 8th, 2013, the band released their first album on the label, Vessel. And just about 2 years later, on May 17th, 2015, Blurry Face was released, officially launching them into the mainstream with songs like Ride and Stressed Out, which, again, you probably know all the words to. And it's okay. It's okay that you know all the words to it. I know all the words to it. They released their fourth official album on October 5th, 2018. I say official because, according to the band, Regional at Best does not count as an official release. So, titled Trench, following about a year-long hiatus where they made very few public appearances. Their fifth album, Scaled and Icy, was released on May 21st, 2021, with their sixth album following on May 24th, 2024. Like any band, though, 21 Pilots is not just defined by what they do in the studio. Live shows have always been something that the band has excelled at, finding ways to get the crowd involved no matter the size. Crowd control has always been something that Tyler has been pretty good at, always going all out to get the crowd involved, even when playing shows to no more than 20 people. They have always had certain things that they incorporate into their shows to get the crowd involved, such as the drum island. They get a kick drum and a snare drum and a ride cymbal, and they put it on this platform, and the crowd holds up the platform, and Josh plays on the platform. And standing on or in the crowd were trees. Of course, these traditions have grown with the band and the sizes of the crowds that they play, the drum island originally starting out in the crowd rather than on top of it, and the same situation with trees. With the growth of the band and the venues that they perform in have come new ways of getting the crowd involved, such as Tyler playing a fan in Mario Kart every night on the Emotional Roadshow tour, to riding across the crowd in a hamster ball or on an air mattress, which are all things that Tyler has genuinely done. I think one of these ways to display this new sort of crowd interaction and them adapting and bringing in new traditions is with a song, Mulberry Street. During the bridge of Mulberry Street, Tyler instructs different parts of the audience to raise their phone flashlights during different parts of the phrase. It's kind of hard to explain, but it's really cool, I promise. Look.
1, 2, 3, right side.
Through a lot of these interactions with the audience, the band fosters a very unique concert-going experience. Through physically holding up members of the band, it gives a sense of sort of figuratively supporting the band members while you are literally supporting them, which I believe is sort of the point to this. In 2022, when I saw the band on the Icy Tour in Houston, I was lucky enough to be one of the people supporting the drum island. I was directly under the island, which means I didn't get to see much other than Josh climbing up and climbing down. I have told people about this experience, and I have gotten several people tell me that that is something that they wish they could experience for themselves, despite not being able to see much. Through an action as simple as putting your hands up to support a platform, there's a sense of inclusion, of like belonging and almost teamwork. Roommate is being noisy. You and a bunch of other strangers who also seem to really like this band are supporting the Josh Dunn as he plays drums. You guys are the ones helping the show go on, simply, again, by just putting your hands up. 21 Pilots overall just has this way of making you feel like you're included in something bigger than yourself. They make you feel like you're included in something huge, like you yourself and all these people around you that you've never met and will probably never see again are all part of what makes the band so popular and makes it work so well. After all, Tyler does say at the end of every concert,
So we're 21 Pilots and so are you. We'll see you next time.
"We are 21 Pilots, and so are you. We are 21 Pilots, and so are you." I'm lucky enough to have seen them 6 times. I've seen them twice on the Bandito tour, once on the Icy tour, and then 3 times on Clancy tour, which is what they are currently on right now. Every time I have seen them, it has been such a surreal experience. At no other show have I experienced the insane pushing and shoving that I have in a 21 Pilots pit, and that is saying a lot because I am also a water parks fan. But at no other show would I care less about being shoved around and being elbowed in the ribs so hard that my ribs are bruised for the next week, which is something that happened to me at Clancy Houston. The experience at a 21 Pilots concert makes it all worth it somehow. Yes, their music deals with some darker topics, such as struggling with your mental health and suicide. However, this cultivates such a unique experience of being packed like sardines with a bunch of people that you can kind of assume have been through a lot of the same issues that you have and are celebrating even just surviving long enough to make it to that night. After seeing them just once, from back of pit, my mom was willing to let me skip an entire day of my freshman year of high school to drive from Houston to Fort Worth, which is, for the people who aren't really aware of how Texas works, is up by the Dallas area, and so that's like a 4.5 hour drive, just to go see them again. I am now attending college in New Mexico, and unfortunately they did not stop here on the Clancy tour, because there's nowhere to stop. Instead of just not seeing them, me and my friends drove about 6.5 hours up to Denver to go attend the first 2 nights of tour. And about 2 weeks later, I flew back home to Houston just to keep the tradition of seeing them with my mom alive. I have been to a lot of shows. Nothing has come close to the sense of community that I have felt in a 21 Pilots pit. I spent the first night of tour with 2 of my closest friends, one of which I hadn't even met in person until the day before. And I spent night 2 of tour with a few more of my closest friends while I made some new ones. That sense of community is really rare, and I feel like it's something that's really exclusive to these kinds of spaces. And I am far from the only person to feel like this about this band. After all, you have fans lining up days, if not weeks, before the shows, just to not only get as close as they can to the band, but to also experience that sort of community that is exclusive to those places. I have some clips from around 2015 of some people talking about the band and the concerts that they've experienced that I think really sum up what I'm trying to convey and get across about the band here. I think they sum up what I'm trying to say pretty well. So
we're out here with a group of friends. I just met them last night, and now we're friends. She's from Jersey, I'm from Philly. We come so far. I meet all these people. We get to hang out with them. Even sleeping on the concrete, it's like
you create like these friendships.
Yeah, you create
21 Pilots makes it.
Yeah.
The show that they put on in there, like to be in the front, right in front of Tyler and Josh, makes it work.
Got here at around 5:30, 6 p.m. the night before, but they made me leave because apparently they had an event going on and they couldn't have anyone blocking. So I went home, but then I found out that people were showing up, so I came back down between 8 and 9 and I stayed overnight, and here I am.
Like the vibe here is like, since this is my first GA show and one of my first concerts, it's a really positive vibe, and we made a lot of new friends here. And honestly, I'm so happy, and I'm so like, I'm on top of the world, in all honesty. And everyone here is so friendly, and we're all singing along and excited to see Tyler and Josh, and it's going to be a fun time as well. So it's a really positive vibe.
You know, it's, the show's just such an amazing experience, but it's really before that, you know, being here and being able to connect with everyone that's seeing that show tonight before you even go in there and feeling that energy. And then it just, adds a whole new experience.
Anyways, I'm not really expecting this to do anything other than just sit on my YouTube channel, um, and do nothing. This is really just something for me and to kind of distract myself from my schoolwork that I should be doing. Um, if somebody does see this, hi. I hope you enjoyed this. I have so many other bands that I can talk about like this. Like I said, I'm a Water Parks fan as well. And I could probably sit and talk about them for just as long, if not longer. Um, but yeah, I hope y'all enjoyed. And I will maybe do this again. We'll see how long it takes me to edit this. So, side note, I love Dutch Bros. I just being very noisy. And I don't want them to be like, why is he talking to himself in his room? I don't know. Why am I talking to myself in my room? In front of my poster wall, you've got 21 Pilots, 21 Pilots, 21 Pilots, David Bowie, and then I do have Pierce the Veil down here. Water Parks, Water Parks. The Soul Sucker, Obituary, Water Parks, from the Houston Chronicle. I've got more Water Parks up there. I have more Water Parks over here. This is high def, so it's basically Water Parks. I've got My Chemical Romance, Chainsaw Man. I've got a lot. I also have my Clancy tour poster on that wall over here, along with a bunch of bandanas and a bunch of pictures. So I'm committed. I'm gonna hate to take this down at the end of the year.